Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Little Foxy Podcast. Unfortunately, you are stuck with Mama Foxy today because Kiara is sick. So, if you guys will say a brief prayer for Kiara that she gets to feeling better, I'd greatly appreciate it. But as we all know, the show must go on. Before we start today, I just want to be clear about the purpose of today's conversation. Little Foxy, of course, you all know, is a kids and family focused platform, and many children are part of this community. While I welcome strong voices and different perspectives, this is not a space for drama, call outs, or negativity. We're here to talk about experiences, events, what's bringing the off-road community together, and everyone is welcome here, and respect leads the way. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in today's special guest, which is the Missouri Mutters, Mr. Josh Carmon. So if you guys will all welcome him in, we'll give it some time to get some people in here. But while I have him in here, I'm going to go ahead and let Josh kind of tell you a little bit who he is. For those of you who don't know, I think a lot of people do know who he is. But we'll just go ahead and let Josh tell you a little bit about himself and the Missouri Mutters.
Hi, guys. My name is Josh Carmon, a former Chippendales dancer and Mr. Universe. When I decided to stop working out and dancing in the clubs, I wanted to get into side-by-side riding. No, I'm kidding. I'm Josh Carmon. Some people call me the Mud Man. Hollywood, got a few other nicknames we probably won't say on here, but a few other people call me. We run the Missouri Mutters. We're a racing organization that we host races kind of all over the country, but mainly at Pikes Off-Road Park. That's been our home and our main base where we do the majority of our events, and we've had the TV show there for Mud Madness the last couple of years. So I'm one of the cast members on the TV show on Discovery for Mud Madness. And it was a great time, and we love having them at Pikes. And I'm just someone that I love racing and competing, and I love hosting races and just being around the off-road community. So it's kind of my hobby and what I enjoy doing. So anytime you have a hobby that you love that much, if you can kind of turn it into a job and maybe make $1 or $2 at it, you're doing pretty good.
Okay, Josh. So one of the questions that I have to begin this with before we get into you talking about the events and that is, how do you think that fans and fellow racers can help create a more understanding, positive culture?
Great question. I'm a very positive and happy-go-lucky person, and I'll help people over and over and over. I always say it's unfortunately in the side-by-side world, as great as it is, there's some people out there that kind of like to eat their young, as the old saying goes. Everybody wants you to do well until you start doing better than them, and they kind of start tearing you down and talking behind your back. And there's just a lot of unnecessary drama. And I mean, that's in life in general, but I do feel like in the off-road community, it seems to be just a little bit more relevant in that. And it's kind of sad that, I hope things are getting better in that area. But, I just think we should all be there to support each other. And, one day I may need help, whether it's, a part or a hand or whatever. And, I just treat people the way you want to be treated. And life is simple. That's really, I try to keep it simple. And that's how I try to live my life. And, forgive and forget most of the time. I'll always forgive, but sometimes, I don't always forget.
Right.
But that's just kind of who I am as a person.
Okay. Has there been a moment where you considered walking away, and what made you stay?
From the side, so we're talking about the racing or the promotion?
Just from racing in general.
Just from racing, yeah. Never in racing. No, I love racing. And there's never been one moment where I've thought about it. I mean, I think I've said to friends, when they're going through, some turmoils from time to time, like, I hate this and think it quit. And I'm like, oh, we've all been there. I've thought about it 100 times. But honestly, I've never thought about realistically quitting racing. I know when I do, I probably won't go back and do it. But I'm just having the time of my life. And like I said, I'm like a teenager with a pretty good job. So, I'm going to get all the toys I didn't have as a kid and just really enjoying myself. And I love it. I love all aspects of racing. I love watching the racing, and I love racing myself. And it's just promoting the races. It's a lot of fun. Now the promotion is a little bit more drama on that side of it. And there's been after a few events where I'm like, I would say at least at the end of the season, I'm like, this is my last season, which is probably the last 3 or 4 years in a row I've said that I think this might be my last season. And of course I come back and do it again. But there's just so many different things going on in the promotion side of it, as far as sponsors, racers, crowd, park, family, staff. I mean, it just, you kind of have to juggle all of these things. And we want to bring the best events to Pikes and any other park we go, whether it's Fiddlers or whether it's the fairs that we do in Missouri. And so we just want to have the best events we can and give away the most money possible and do a lot of different style racing. That's what we enjoy. If you don't like mud racing, well, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to have 5 or 6 different types of racing that you'll be able to do.
If people could understand one thing about you that they often get wrong, what would that be?
Wow, that's a really good question. I hate to even say this, but a lot of people think I'm an asshole. And again, the TV show, and I've joked that, a TV show could make Gandhi look racist. If they only show clip-its and things like that. But yeah, I hate it when people, and it happens quite often, especially when we're out of the state or we're somewhere racing and somebody will come up and we'll be talking to them for a few minutes. Like, gosh, man, you're such a nice person, but I really thought you were going to be a total asshole. And, we've gotten that quite a bit, especially since the show aired. And, every show's got to have a villain. And obviously, it was me. And I kind of, joke and kid, but the person on the TV show, that is me. I think sometimes they can show different, maybe one side more than, how the whole thing goes down. But for the most part, everything you see on the show, that's who I am. But yeah, I just wish people didn't kind of think I was maybe like a cocky ass, because, I'm kind of cocky and arrogant, but it's really just to my friends and stuff like that, where we like to rib. It's not really my personality too much, to anyone that I don't know. But I'm a very confident person. I believe in myself, my abilities. I believe in my team, my sponsors. And, I just feel like every race I show up to, I'm going to win.
So what would you tell a younger racer who's going through setbacks in a season, or who may just be fearful to step into this arena?
Well, first and foremost, don't be afraid of losing. You're never going to learn anything from winning. All the lessons I've learned in life have always came from a loss. And you can say you're going to learn from winning, but, unfortunately, when you win so much, sometimes you get a little complacent and think that you're just always going to do it. And I had a bit of a reality check on season 2 of Mud Madness where, before the show aired, it aired in fall this last time. Before the show aired, I'd won just about every race, from short course to mud to obstacle courses. And then the show started and I had some bad luck. My machine was broke for a few events that we didn't realize. And, a couple bad races that I, just overdrove the car and really underperformed. So, it's one of those that if you love it enough, don't be afraid to lose and really evaluate why you've lost. And evaluate why you won too, but, go through all the things and what you can do better. And, if you don't know how to run a track or place you can compete, just lay in bed and, replay the course in your head a million times and the things that you're going to do different and write it down. I know when I played billiards all the time, I had like a little list of things that I always, whenever I would miss a shot, I'd go back over and look and read. And, I've tried to turn my side-by-side racing into like a scientific experiment. When there's a problem with it, you want to figure out, where the problem was at. Let's fix it and then move forward and just, enjoy it. It's expensive. It's, it can be heartbreaking. It can be exhilarating, but just enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying the racing aspect of it, pick something else.
How did Missouri Mudders come about?
Okay. So there's a few that know this story. So I'm going to say, I think this was around 2016 or 17. We had, I'm going to say probably 2017. We had went to Bricks. I bought a Polaris XP 1000 high lifter, and we went down to Bricks and had a great time. But I told my wife when we got back, I was in a motorcycle club, and I said, look, with my mouth, if we go down there, I was like on a megaphone and just, maybe a couple too many cocktails and, saying things that I was thinking, but I told her, I was like, hey, we need to get a little group together because if I go back down there, I may get killed. And so we had a little small writing group, and we kind of contemplated it, the name and some things about it for several weekends. And then we were down in the basement where all great ideas happen. And we're down in the bar, and, everybody just got the right amount of cocktails, and, names would pop up. And so, yeah, I mean, it was really kind of a group effort from several people, but that's where we got the name Missouri Mutters from, and kind of the color scheme. And it just really, our whole goal was to get 50 members. That's all we were trying to do, was get 50 members. And then it just kind of blew up. And, now we're almost at 16,000 members. We've hosted, this is our sixth season of a race series. We've given away over $100,000 in a couple seasons back to back, and close to that in most of the other seasons that we've done. And it's just been amazing. I mean, it's gotten much bigger than I ever dreamed. End up getting in a TV show.
That's kind of leading into what I was going to ask. So how has Missouri Mutters grown or changed since then? And one thing you say is about the members and that. So the members, like, nobody pays to be part of Missouri Mutters. It's a community based. So just kind of elaborate a little bit on that for.
Yeah, Missouri Mutters, it's a family. That's anybody wants to race in our series, we never charge entry fees for racing. Once you pay to get in the park, all that. But our race team is a family, and we don't pay racers, and we've lost some racers over the years that have went to other teams and things like that. But it's an amazing loyal group that obviously that you're part of, and you're an amazing family that's been racing with us for years. And it's crazy that how many people that we've met that have become such wonderful friends, and what we call family. And we go on vacations together, and we trips, and we go out, and it's a lot more than just a group. A group is kind of an insult to call it a group to me, in a way, just for the simple fact of what it really is, what it's become. Mm-hmm. And having your back. And so many times we'll go to different parks, and people are like, hey, man, we met some Missouri Mutters, and we were broke, and they came and they fixed our tire, or they gave us a belt, or they towed us back. And it's just such an honor, and, to be a part of something so amazing that we've, me and a bunch of other people helped create. And
now, I don't like to cut you off, but I have to cut you off for a second, because I've got some people piping in here.
Okay.
And one of them is the one that's sick at home, who heard you say that about winning and losing. She wants to know how it was losing to her at the Waynesville race. And Kenny Morris then states that, the same way it feels when he loses every beater bash bet against Shocker Motorsports. So we got some
good questions. I think a little bit of delusion on both of these, but let me go ahead and clarify. Well, little Foxy should know how it feels, because it's the way I've made her feel her entire race career when she's had to race me. The same with Kenny Morris. Yes, we were down in Waynesville, my hometown, and we had 2 mud races and an obstacle course race, and we won the first 2 mud races, and unfortunately broke Bruce Lee going through the course. So, it didn't matter if you break or you just get beat on time. Little Foxy definitely did finish the course, and I didn't. So she got me there.
She's going to brag about that to you and her dad for the rest of her life, because
Laura Hepner got me and Byron Starrett one time when we both broke on a WTF course, and I've been hearing about that one for 5 years. So when you dish it out, you got to be able to take it. That's the way that I look at it, and it's just been great watching little Foxy grow, and to see what Laura Hepner did for our women's division, starting all that, and being the first female to ever win our big tire championship. And it just, all the pieces kind of fell into place for our female racers. Because this is generally a male dominated sport. And as you know, I think the females get a little intimidated, and I'm always telling, medically speaking, females, they have better reflexes and reaction times. Generally,
better
they're
pain tolerance.
Common sense thinkers. What's that?
Better pain tolerance.
Yes, definitely higher pain tolerance for sure. So it's women are they're just as good as the men, and I don't treat them any different when I'm racing. I don't care if I'm racing Kiara or I'm racing your husband, the Silver Fox, or Nick or James or Jamie Hayes or any of them. I treat every racer that they can beat me. And we don't lose often, but, we still lose like everyone else. And I, I don't enjoy the losing part of it, but I always try to make it a positive to where, like, once in a great while, Kenny Morris will win a bet against me. I mean, it's like every 50 bets we do, Kenny Morris will actually win one. But, when he does, I like to brag on him and, tell them what a great job they did and, get them primed for the next race or the next bet we're going to do.
Right.
But, it's just I love creating I don't know what word I was using. I just love to create matches to where instead of just showing up and racing, that's why I used to do so many of the videos when I would go down to Arkansas or go to different parks in the country and put a video out and tell them their daddy's coming. I don't know what second place is paying, but they better figure it out because I'm taking first. It really helped to build Arkansas up. And Arkansas got so many teams after that where we want to have that. It's just no fun if you go win all the time or if you go and there's no, they really don't care. I mean, one thing I don't like to beat people and they don't care. I love beating them when it just kills you. It's like, because I feel the same way. And I enjoy that competition. So I try to make it as competitive as we possibly can and talk as much smack as we can, because even, if somebody doesn't maybe like my opponent, they're going to stick up for them because that's the state they're from, or that's the park they go to. Or I want to try to make it just more entertaining and more people that want to tune in to watch it. I think I've done a pretty good job of that.
So that has a lot to do, I guess, with where people come off to think that you're not so nice.
Yes. Yeah. Again, I don't mind people thinking I'm really cocky or arrogant, but I hate when people think I'm an asshole. I mean, that's one thing that's because I feel like I'm a really good person and I'll help anybody. And, very, very few people in the world that, I don't get along with. And I say it all the time. If you can't get along with me, you probably can't get along with a lot of people, because I'll give you chance after chance. I don't know if it's more for me or it's more for my family and my wife. That's probably more where I hate it, because to me, it really doesn't bother me because I know who I am. But like my mom will get on social media when the TV show was going. She's like, "Oh, honey, these people are saying such mean stuff," and it hurts her feelings. And then she gets angry. And then, there's been a few times that, people have kind of goaded my wife into things. I'm like, look, you pay your taxes, you get on, whatever social media platform you want, you get to say and do what you want. That's why I like on the Missouri Motor page, once in a great while, you'll see somebody, there'll be a comment about me or something like that. And I don't take it down. I'll leave it up there because, hey, if, somebody thinks that, maybe somebody else does. And I don't try to control or become a dictator through our social media platforms. And if that's what you think, then I'll try to do my darndest to change your mind. And if you don't, then hey, that's okay.
So if somebody asks you, why does Missouri Motors matter so much to you? What would your answer be?
Well, it's just an extended family that I have that, I have a very small family and there have no family in the St. Louis area. So most of my closest family is just a couple hours away. Then my other family's all out east. So, it's like a brotherhood, a sisterhood. And it's just, I just love having such an amazing support system of wonderful, amazing people. And I don't care who you are in life. We're all going to get sick, and some may get cancer. Some may get in car accidents. Some, may cut their finger off. There's so many things that can happen to you in life that you don't plan on. And it's just great having such an amazing support system that, there's people out there that genuinely care about you. And if something, would happen, that I know they would be helping my wife out. And that's what I really enjoy. And you called it at Nathan's funeral an army. And I think that's the best word I've continued to use it. It's like an army of love and companionship and friendship and fellowship. And that there's so many amazing people in this group. Helps make me a better person being around these people.
So if racing had trading cards, what would your fun fact be?
If racing was a trading card?
If they had trading cards, what would your fun facts section on the card say?
Okay, that's a good one. A fun fact on that one. Well, I got a haircut today, so I can't really say much Moulay magic. I got a D mullet haircut today. I would just say that my fun fact would be, I always showed up with a smile on his face and just love the competition. That's what I love the most. It's I love creating competitions. I love being in competitions, And yeah, and I always like doing it with a smile on my face.
Mm-hmm. At this stage in your life, what matters more to you, being liked or being respected?
Well, I mean, I'm being selfish. Can I say both? I like. I mean, you have to only have one. Um, I think respect. Uh, I mean, like is a kind of a more of a generalization that can go a lot of different ways. But I feel like when someone respects you, obviously they really like you, they trust you. But I think respect is something that generally has to be earned and not just given.
Amber Holder popped in here and would like to know if you are planning on racing any of Shane's events this year.
I was going to try to make one last year. The problem is some of our events are like the weekend before or after. So I'm planning on hopefully coming to Carter's in May. And I was going to come to the one, was it 2 weeks from now? But I'm going to Kentucky for that race instead. But yeah, we're going to try to make one or two.
And she said to bring the woof ride and do the short course.
Bring the what ride?
The woof.
Oh, the wolf ride. Oh,
woof. Sorry. Woof.
Yeah, well, that's not really a short course car. I mean, that's an obstacle course, knockout race machine. It's stock turbo, stock engine. It's slow, but you can drive over a Mack truck with it if you hit it at the right speed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll bring some machines down and maybe even have a short course machine by then. At that point in time, it's something looking to get a short course machine and maybe a drag machine. Those are kind of the only two things that I don't have that I could kind of race and compete. But again, the trailers are only so big that you can only put so many machines on them. But yeah, I love Arkansas. When we used to go down to Arkansas all the time, and back even when Corey was running the events, Rager, and then obviously when Stan took that ball and took it to the next level. And then we kind of started creating the Missouri versus Arkansas that become just such big rivalries and so much fun. And yeah, we just we hope to get back down there. And I love Carter's. Mark Carter's one of my best buddies. And
another event too in person is Stephen Mokel. I don't know if you remember him, but they have that Sullivan race.
Oh yes.
And he says that he's really hoping to see you all there. And it is June 27th. Okay. And they're doing a knockout style short course race this year. I know we missed it this year. We had an amazing time doing it the first year that they did it. Remember, Kiara thought I was waving her off the track and she was in the lead and she went into the pits, turned around and came back out and was still in the lead, but was very mad at me.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, she exited. Yeah. She exited it because she thought that she was done and she wasn't finished with the race and had to do a U-turn and get back out there. Luckily, she didn't lose because of me. But
that's a fun race. When Mike Pack was there, was the year before last. That's when he had that.
Yeah, that's when he had the bad accident.
Was that in Sullivan or was that the?
That was at Sullivan. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, we're planning. We're going to try to race as much as we can. So we're just kind of waiting on the TV show to see about season 3. Now I saw Paramount, they're getting ready to buy Warner Brothers / Discovery. Netflix kind of backed out. So that's kind of messed a lot of that up. And in season 1, whenever Warner Brothers bought Discovery, there was a bit of a lag. We had to kind of wait to see. So I talked to the network about a month ago. So we're just kind of waiting to see about season 3 and the time frame when we're going to do that. But, barring anything, them saying, hey, we're going to start filming such and such date. We plan on doing a lot of racing this year. So yeah, we will definitely be there in Sullivan.
What's the heaviest expectation you carry that no one else sees?
Well, excellence. I mean, I feel like that, when you talk as much smack as I do, you have to win every race. If you win 19 out of 20, you're still going to get dogged. I have to be perfect. But I've created that myself too. So, I mean, it's a pressure that I like, and I feel like I respond well to the pressure. And I like to put that on myself. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I have to win every race. I can't win, 5 out of 6 or 9 out of 10. We've got to try to win every single race. And because if not, I mean, man, the haters, they come out of the woodwork on social media after me. But I take it as a badge of honor. Anybody that's willing to say they want to, hit me in the head, with a baseball bat or knock my teeth out or shoot me or burn my house down, and they call my office and things like that. I mean, I still think it's kind of funny. I mean, I don't think anyone would ever do these things, but man, there's some people out there that really I seem to really get to.
So do you race more to prove something to others or to settle something within yourself?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Now it's all internal for sure. Now, I think the bonus is getting to kind of torment others that don't want to see me win. And but no, it's an internal fire that I have, and I touched it a little bit on the show. My grandfather and my mother, were obviously the two biggest influences in my life. And I had an uncle that was a huge influence also, and my godparents, Jerry Morgan, my Uncle Wallace. But my mom and my grandfather, my two biggest supporters I've ever had in my life. And my grandfather passed away when I was 10. I just never got to see any of my accomplishments. So I feel like everything I kind of do, and he was my world. And, I stayed with him in summers and just was always around with him on the farm. And I grew up on a farm with him, and, apple orchards, tobacco, cattle. It was just such a great way to grow up, walking in the creeks with your friends. But he never got to see anything. And yeah, and I just feel like I'm always just, everything I do is to try to prove, I won't say really necessarily prove to him, just, I think just prove to myself, that all the things that he instilled at me at a young age, that I've really listened and paid attention. And the same with my mother. My mother has been my biggest fan, no matter what. And yeah, I could have a better parent my entire life than my mother. And she just worked her butt off to make sure that we had everything that we could. And whether it's been billiards, and I played when I was younger in life, or racing, I put 100% in everything I do, or I don't do it. I don't care if it's mixed martial arts, training that. Everything I do, I try to put 100% into.
So what would failure mean to you, honestly, not publicly, but internally?
Yeah, failure to me is just not achieving my goals that I have. And, the goals always kind of change. You win one championship, you want to win two, you win two, you want to win the third one, things like that. So, my goals are always changing. But, yeah, it just – I don't want to disappoint myself. And, obviously my wife, now later in life, she's my biggest supporter and always with me, CC and everything. And, I feel like at this point in time that I don't want to disappoint her.
Right.
And, she loves it when I win. And I say it all the time. I love hearing her on video when she's so excited and she's running. And once in a while she'll say, that's off the chain. Or she just says something that she's never, ever said in her entire life because she gets so excited. And that's what I love. And I don't ever want to really lose that. And I feel like that's what racing's kind of given me, to where it's not only the happiness it instills in me, it's kind of the happiness that instills kind of around some of the others that love me the most.
Right. So if a younger, we have a picture up here of Shane, you and Cece. I believe, if I remember, was this at the Ridge when you almost
No, this was it.
I can't
remember
at Greasy
Bend.
Oh, Greasy Bend. I'm sorry.
This was the week after we had just finished shooting. Yeah, this almost died. This was the week right after we finished shooting season 1 of Mud Madness. And I just won Mud Madness. And obviously it hadn't been aired or any of this. And it had been raining terrible. Absolutely. And I just got done winning the small tire bounty hole and was going to the big tire bounty hole. And Chuck Norris and Stan was like, "Hey, were you going to send it?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know," because it was just a big straight burn. It was just a wall you had to drive up. And I was like, "No," and it was pouring the rain. And then literally, in this pouring rain, and some people under tents or not tents, they pull their phones up and start recording. And like an idiot, I just, had launch control, let off, and just drove it right into the embankment and flipped it forward. And my seatbelt had gotten stuck. What had happened with my seatbelt was, when they put the seat back on it, it had pinched down on the side, and it never really got tested until I got in the machine, so I had to put it kind of over on the side. Well, when I got upside down, there was so much mud and clay on it, I couldn't get to it, and my helmet and my mouth had filled up with water. And so I think I was underwater for about 18, 20 seconds, something like that. But again,
I remember Krusty pulling your helmet up.
Yes.
I remember, there was
I've always said I never realized my head could touch my ass. But Krusty Klein helped me. And then your husband lost both of his shoes, and so many people, Shane Washburn and Derek Shago. There was just so many people jumping in to help. It truly saved my life.
If they had did amazing recording.
What's that?
And CC stayed recording.
No, hey, my wife took a little heat for
she did good.
From some people.
I don't think she should take heat from it. She listened. Yeah, you told her. You always say, do not turn the camera.
Yeah, no matter what happens to me, Now, maybe if I'm on fire, okay, stop recording. But other than that, I'm always like, just keep filming. I'm going to be okay. And she did her job to perfection, and it made for great video. And oh my gosh, Mud Madness loved it. They couldn't believe that she continued filming. I mean, the
I can say I was there, and she was shaking, and she was fearful. Like, she was white as a ghost, and yeah, Cece was very scared, but she did keep filming, so I was proud of her.
Well, when I finally got out of the machine and looked at the crowd, I mean, there was like 3 or 4 people crying. I mean, and she was one of them, and I really didn't know what had happened. I mean, I knew. I was just like, when I was upside down in the water and I could hear all the commotion going on, and that hole was so deep that you just couldn't push the machine over. And when they did, I was still underwater. I was just like, I'm going to die at a place called Greasy Bend in Arkansas. And I was like, not today, devil. I could have held my breath for 10 minutes if I had to. I was, my mouth was full of that nasty ass water. But yeah.
But you looked scared to death too when you came out.
Like, I wasn't. As soon as they, I'd always said if I ever had an accident, whenever I popped up, I was going to try to say something witty. So when I came up, I was like, hey, did I win? And then, just joking. And then when I looked up and saw her upset and several other people upset, then I kind of realized, I was like, oh my gosh. And then, I saw the look of, Krusty and the people that were there getting me out. I mean, they were in sheer terror too. Like, dude, you dodged one. And until I went back and we saw the video, I had no clue how bad it really was. Because I tried to drive out of it. As soon as it started to go forward, I just pinned it to the floor, and we almost saved it. But the scariest I've ever been, I went back the next year, back to Greasy Bend in Arkansas, and we won that race in Chuck Norris. But I will say that people always ask me, what's the scariest I've ever been? And that was the scariest I've ever been, was going back through that hole again. But no, just again, I want to thank the good Lord for looking out for me and all of our amazing members and family, the ones I just talked about that saved my ass. And even some people down there that, I may not get along with the greatest, still jumping in to help me. And just like I would then, when things like that happen, I don't care if we're not friends or I don't know you. If I can do something, I'm gonna jump in and help. And your husband lost both of his shoes, and a couple other people lost their shoes because that was some peanut butter crap in there. But
I think the funniest thing was that the next year, I guess they had dug out that hole, and remember they found one of his gator waders. It was his actual gator wader that we had lost the year before.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
it was sitting on the bank, so that was pretty hilarious. But also at that one was the same one where we got almost ran over when that 4-wheeler.
The girl in the
little
4-wheeler
kid,
came up out of the hole.
And Ben had shoved me, and it like ran over Ben's leg, like. Yeah, that was an eventful race for sure.
Yeah, that's, out of every, we've been going to races for now, what is it, 6, 7, 8 years. But that's the scariest accident as far as someone coming up out into the crowd that we've ever seen. And, you'd think it'd be like our knockout races or something like that, but no. They said her throttle got stuck on the 4-wheeler and she came out and, just missed you, and she clipped Ben's feet and then ran into that side by side. And luckily the lady was on the inside, but gosh, the little girl was okay.
Was scary.
That was, but again, it's, we want these kids to get to experience this, and we don't want to wait you're 16 or 18 to get to race, but we want to make it as safe as we can. And that's, I hate the kids races. And I say it all the time. I hate the kids races more than anything that we do. It's not that I hate doing them. I just hate if something happens or they fall off. Or
absolutely.
And get hurt. That's always our biggest scare. And that's why I'm always, the driver's meeting, tell the parents, like, look, you've signed the waivers, but again, if something happens, this is on you. I just want you guys to know that.
Right.
And praise the Lord that it never does happen. And we try to do everything that we can to keep it as safe, but we want them to get experience. We want them to get better. So when they go to, out of state, or they go to other races, and that's why I feel like
here's my niece.
Oh yeah.
Winning. I mean, they love it. My nieces they just started doing it this year, and getting to join the kids races and that. And, plus they're girls. So, I love that they're girls out there, but I think they're about as mean as most of the boys, but they can probably take most of them. But just seeing that and those kids getting to experience that and having that leads me into this question. If a younger racer modeled themselves after you exactly as you are now, what lessons would they learn? And are you okay with that?
Well, there'd be a lot of lessons because the way I approach racing and the way that I talk about racing is pretty unorthodox. I mean, I always say I'm the Ric Flair of the off-road world. I've never really seen another one like that, and I'm not trying to be different. It's just who I am. So yeah, I would just say that there's a lot of lessons in that because it's funny and they're great sound bites, and I love ribbing the competition and my friends, but at the same time, you're opening yourself up for attacks too. So, like I always say, if you're going to dish it out, you better be able to take it. And so that'd be the lesson I would just say is don't take anything personal. I mean, it's just I'm going to listen to everything that anyone has to say about me, and I know who I am as a person. The Lord knows who I am as a person, and I feel like if you think that maybe different of me and I can change it, I'm going to try. But if not, I'm not going to lose any sleep worrying about somebody that I don't know or that doesn't know me. So I would just say the lesson in that would be just be true to yourself and don't try to be somebody else. Just be who you are, and people are going to like it no matter what.
Jamie Hayes wants to know if you think you could win a blind buddy race this year.
Well, probably as long as it's not after a float trip.
Cheryl says not if I'm the driver.
Yeah, I'll say I've been in a couple of them, but we are having the last race of the year in September. We're having $1,000 blind buddy race.
Oh wow!
At Pikes Off-Road Park, and
my husband and I will not be doing that one.
The Kids Series, yes. I mean, everyone should be doing the blind buddy race. So, yeah, as good as I am with my eyes open, no, I'm not very good with my eyes covered. I think what I need to be the person not driving maybe, and the person that's giving directions. Because AJ and I did it from the TV show, and gosh, we got beat by two old timers, Larry Dreadbone and Bobby Cobb, and I joked that we got beat by a couple 100-year-old people. We did okay in it, but they did beat us in it. So I've yet to win a blind buddy race. Maybe Jamie Hayes and I. Maybe that's something him and I can get together and do.
James Davidson said, I'll answer that no. So before we get into the part about our races that are coming up in the battle series and that, because I see some people asking a question, what part of you still feels unseen, even with all the attention and success?
Oh, probably my softer side. Dana, you hang out with me. You know what a teddy bear I am, and just
some days.
I don't know. I don't think there's a lot out there. But like I said, with me, what you see is what you get. Now, again, I think with the show, they can kind of tweak that a little bit. But, Bryce is who he was. Randy's who she was. AJ's who, everybody's who you are on TV. When people are like, oh, well, TV, they change it. I mean, they can tweak some things, but, that's just who I am. And
do you think that some of those things that bother you most, do you see traces of yourself in those things that bother you too, or do you feel that
it doesn't ever bother? It doesn't. It never bothers me. From the time I was 13 playing billiards with the criticism, and I was a little cocky shit then too. To older men and tell them I was going to kick their butt and take all their money, but where it bothers me is with my wife and my mom.
Right. You said that earlier.
That's where it gets to me, is because I hate seeing anyone have to defend me, especially on social media and stuff like that. And I know that it bothers them. So yeah, I would say that's really the only thing that bothers me of the whole thing of how that kind of comes about, is just what they have to deal with. Because to me, I think it's hilarious, because it's kind of funny when people actually come up to you after we were in Alabama, and this lady and her husband was beside me, and he was wanting to take a picture and get an autograph. And he's like, Josh, I love you. And because my wife hates you. She thinks you're a total asshole. And I looked at her, and she looked right at me. She goes, yeah, I do. And I was like, dang. And I said, well, by the end of this weekend, you're going to love me. And she's like, no way. So a couple more days go by, and she came back over, and she was like, you know what? You're not such an asshole after all at the end of the weekend. And I like that. It makes me feel good when people really kind of get to know who I am.
And I think that sometimes, and I'll just speak for myself on how it makes me feel. Sometimes when people are attacking and saying things, they will use the term Missouri Mutters in that, which brings in a group that I love dearly.
Sure. Thank you.
Andrea, Keith, you guys, April, my husband, just because they have an opinion does not make it right to make that opinion be formed on everybody. And they do that. And I understand that you are the ambassador of the Missouri Mutters. But still yet, sometimes I feel that people gauge opinions off of other people's opinions. And my husband and I have always said, you know, like somebody else cannot like somebody. It doesn't mean that we're not going to like that person. Respect is return. If you respect us, we respect you type thing.
Sure.
And I know that sometimes it feels disrespectful whenever it's Missouri Mutters.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you 1,000% because Missouri Mutters, and for some years, people think Missouri Mutters is me. No, Missouri Mutters is the group. I'm just, you know, one person in this group. So, you know, we've tried to differentiate it between the two, you know, for years. And thank you so much. And I know you defend me in the group, you know, from time to time. And I, you know, can't thank you enough.
I just know a lot of great people that are part of this group.
Oh.
And not just because he's my husband, but
no,
I feel that my husband would do anything for anybody. And he's a really good person, including my daughter. Like those two people, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I can be judgmental. Those two, I feel that they like to see people for who they are. It doesn't matter if they're a millionaire, if they're, you know, the janitor or whoever it is, like they do not see what's in front of them. They see people for heart and effort. And sometimes I'm probably more of the, but I think it has to do with law enforcement, more of the like thing of like, who's that? Where they'll bring anybody around.
Well, you know, like
Kiara hugs everybody.
Yeah, Ben's been on the race team forever. And I mean, he's had so many opportunities to go race with other people. And I mean, it would, you know, would kill me. And that's what, you know, if Ben ever left. But, you know, just Ben's loyalty and so many people in the group, like you said, that we're very blessed.
He would have never started racing if it wasn't for you encouraging him that day. It was you, actually, Rafe McKinnon and Ryan Cantrell, who were trying to get him to do a race at Carter's. It was, I think it was barrels. It wasn't like maybe it was the barrels like ours, because there was 3 there. And he would always say, I don't have a helmet or whatever. And here you come out of the middle of nowhere, God bless your heart, because now we've been hooked ever since, and says, well, I got you a race helmet right here. It'll fit you. And he's like, oh no, I don't want to. And you just kept pushing the Josh Carmon way. You could sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo, and you got him in there, and it was over ever since then.
Well, I hate seeing amazing racers not race. And Ben is one of the best racers out there at everything. I don't care if it's short course, mud. Ben does.
He just do it for fun, though.
He does, and he has a great attitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Andrea. It kills me that I can't get Andrea to race in the females races.
I'm the same way.
Amazing. If ATV side by side, it just it kills me when I know people that just are so good and they just don't race. But
Andrea really is good.
I was going to push Ben because he's too good, and Ben makes me better just because to be able to beat him, man, you've got to lay down some good laps if you're going to beat someone like the Silver Fox.
Yeah, he's been rolling it a lot this year, but hopefully, well, this is a new year. We've got a positive future this year.
Yes.
I think him and Kiara are trying to take tallies on who's going to roll their machine the most, but I'm like, please, let's not do it that much this year. And then just to see too, like, I think that's the part that a lot of people get caught up in. Like a lot of people are doing things for popularity, and I'm not saying that that's wrong. But they're doing things to like build platforms and different things like that. And 100%, I know that little Foxy is out there doing things in that and building things too. But like really, at the end of the day, we do it for fun and do it for heart. And that's what I want them to keep striving for. And I just feel that a lot of people get blocked by the chaos and the drama, that they don't stop to look that there's real people and those who have hearts and loyalty and respect. And I just kind of wish that all the chaos wasn't so much, because really I think that this off-roading could really build into a huge thing.
Well, I said on the TV show, Formula One, F1 racing, it's the most watched racing in the world. And I said that I feel like side-by-side racing, it could be that because more people have side-by-sides and ATVs, UTVs. It's more relatable than even F1. If we can, like you said, just kind of get that in control. And, it's the old saying that, if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything at all. And, I don't judge anyone. That's the Lord's job. If you do something goofy, I may be talking and tell the story, but I don't judge anyone. But I'd like to see just a little bit, maybe more compassion, just a little bit more of, I don't know. Again, I kind of said it earlier. It's like everybody wants you to do well until you maybe start doing better than them. And then, then they, the story started and the negativity and it just brings the whole sport down is all it does. I mean, it kills momentum and, makes families not want to have their kids in it. And, so hopefully 2026 will be better. I'm a glass half full kind of person and I think that it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Look at little Foxy and look at the Silver Fox and, Nick and Josh. And, anywhere you guys go, people know who you guys are and yourself. It's really, you think about how crazy it is. Where we've been, we were just where we were at, is in Keith too, where they were like, they'd said, "Hey, I saw you guys on the TV show." That was just recent. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I think it was the restaurant we were at. And, so yeah, that's what I love. I want everybody to get their number called up. Today it may be me, tomorrow you, maybe the day after Ben. And I'm genuinely happy for all my friends. I love seeing my friends succeed. I love seeing them win races. And, if I'm going to get beat, I just hope and pray it's by one of my friends.
Yeah, shoot, we raced a series where it was.
Yeah, it just does.
But, it was fun too, because I felt like even though there was competition, because we all want to, you still want to win, even though you're friends. I don't know. We just always had fun. And we ended up with karaoke or something, I don't know. To me, that was great. But yeah, I know that everybody grows and everybody changes. And, we like to go to different parks. We like to see different races and different things like that. And I know that that's something that, as time goes on, will happen. But Pikes is a special place to us. And we love Bill and Sheila. They've always been so kind. Their son, I know the first time we went there was just over accommodating, showed us some trails and stuff, which he didn't have to. He's a young kid. He could have totally blew us off. He didn't know who we were. And he offered that. So, it just goes to show I'm big on values and kindness, which is where my child probably.
Well, you're very. There's a bunch of Missouri Butters racing here. I think that is James Davidson there. Okay, we got the Silver Fox right there.
Well,
nice promo.
We'll get you started on what's coming up for us on Pikes and get you talking about that.
Yeah, it was April 16th to the 19th. We start with the Mega Mud Fest. And if you see we're paying out, it's over $16,000 now. Friday, everything from drag race to barrel races to, the list just goes on and on. Saturday, we'll do our Battle Course Series races where we'll be doing the Battle Course, which is like an obstacle course. Little bit, could be a little bit of mud in there depending on how wet it is. And then we'll finish it and we're with the knockout race. So, that's always a big deal. Jamie Hayes is a high flyer, James Davison, a high flyer. Some, great racers we'll get to watch. It's very exciting and entertaining. And as you saw in that promo there, the different styles of racing and, we just, and hill climb races, we just try to offer a little bit of everything. Women's races, kids races. We try to pay out as much money as we possibly can. We give every dime of our sponsorship money. So anybody would like to be a vendor or sponsor, please let us know. They can get a hold of me through the Missouri Mutters, Josh Carmon. We'd love to have more sponsors, and every dime we raise, we give back. So we don't keep one dime for operating costs or anything. We give every single penny that we've ever raised over the last 6 years back, and we'll do the same thing again. And, hopefully we can continue to raise a lot of money and give it all back to these amazing racers. So the spectators and fans get to see some amazing racing, and the Burns family and Bill and Sheila and all them are happy because people it's still a business, and, fuel's not cheap. You've got to pay money. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. We're pretty excited right now for that. $7,500 for the knockout. We're going to do 4 knockout races. We're going to do 2 in the fairs in June and July. We're going to do 1 at Pikes in April, and then 1 in August. The first one's only going to pay out $5,000 at Pikes, this first one, and the 2 at the fair, which one's going to be in Bowling Green at the Pike County Bowling Green Fairgrounds. I know don't get confused, but right across the river in Pike County, Illinois Fairgrounds, we're going to be doing knockout races there also. It'll be $7,500 is going to get paid out to first, second, and third. And then we will finish in August for one of the concerts. It's going to be the concert we're going to have coming up in August. We're going to end up finishing there. And as long as everything goes as planned, the overall top 3 or 4 or 5, we've not decided yet, we're going to try to pay out $5,000 to $7,500. But it looks like we're going to pay out $7,500 just to the overall champions and the standings in those races. So we've never done that before. We've never actually had a payout at the end of season. And that will be just for the knockout races alone. But, gosh, you can break so much stuff in those knockout races. It's just a great way to make as much money as possible with great payouts and then still have a payout at the end.
So is the course going to be the same at Pikes on the knockout?
I don't know if Bill's changing much coming for the first one. Now, by the last one in August at Pikes, we may change that one out a little bit, but we'll have to build the 2 at the fairground. So those will be completely different.
That was going to be yeah. Are they going to be like Waynesville?
I don't know. Bill's the builder there.
Okay.
I told Waynesville, I said, make it difficult. Man,
you made it difficult.
But, for some of the people are like, hey, all you do is just give it gas and floor go over obstacles. Well, Waynesville was not that course. Waynesville was, I actually enjoyed the Waynesville course because it was so difficult, that it was kind of fun to watch because you really had to drive it. And you had to manage your machine and not go too crazy with it. But no, I don't think it will be to that level. I'm quite positive that we don't want to see a junkyard at the fairgrounds or at Pikes.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll
and
make
shout out to Colton Rhodes for, giving little Foxy some pointers so that she made it through that brutal course. He gave her some pointers on like the logs and that, so that helped her. So that was nice.
Yeah. No, Colton really good at that style driving and has a machine set up for that style driving.
Yeah.
That's the thing about knockout races with the obstacle courses. It's you don't want to be taking a mud machine necessarily. Not to say, look, I've seen people get seconds and thirds, in a 4-seater or just in a non-turbo, and there's a lot of things that can happen. You have to finish those races to win those races, but the winner moves on and the loser puts it on the trailer. So for as much money as we're giving away, everyone should be trying. Get on the start line and at least give yourself an opportunity because you never know. 3 or 4 people that break or roll over, you may, putt right through that course each time and get right to the finals.
Well, as a wife and a mom, I say I would prefer that they skip that race.
Well, I don't have children, so if I did, I probably would say the same thing. But as a promoter and a racer, I say, boogity, boogity, boogie, let's go racing.
Yeah. But unfortunately, she likes that challenge. So I have a feeling.
And the good thing about Pikes is you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to Jamie Hayes it or James Davidson it. Paul Wolf, the Codys. I mean, they've been great. But, some people are going to send it. But, again, you've got to finish the race. And as cool as Jamie's jump was, he jumped out of bounds, got disqualified. As cool as James Davidson's jump was, he broke his machine. So it's that fine line of, still somewhat trying to send it, and it kind of seeing what your opponent's doing too. It's kind of one of those, you kind of got to know what your machine can do and your limits. But if someone's just a little bit ahead of you, that's kind of the wild card. Most people will just give it just a little bit more throttle, and we have the walls up now, but people love it. I mean, they go crazy for it.
Who's that kid from Kentucky who won it?
Kyle Risley. He'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyle, great racer. He was down at Hawk Pride in Alabama with Jamie Hayes a couple weekends ago, and he's a phenomenal racer, and has the machines built for that. It's kind of like Bruce Lee, Paul's buggy that we have. That's really what that machine's meant to do.
Is there any changes or anything new that anybody can look forward to with Pikes? I know you have the concert series, so you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. So Pikes, we're kind of taking it to the next level. So for Memorial Day weekend, we'll be open from Thursday, actually technically Wednesday till Monday, and we're going to have concerts on Friday and Saturday night, and we've got huge artists coming. We've got the Lax coming, Lakeview, 501 Breezy, Sierra the Rapper, Jay Webb, Will Mosley from American Idol coming. I'm not going to say the August event yet, just because I don't want to take that away from the concert venue. But basically, at South Fork in Illinois, a place called South Fork Dirt Riders, they used to have what's called tailgates and tall boys. There's it, tall boys and tailgates and tall boys.
Tailgates and tall boys.
Yeah, and we've seen Jelly Roll there and all these massive artists right before they've kind of made it, and so they decided they weren't going to do the concert stuff over there anymore. The concerts had gotten so big, they kind of outgrew that park over there because it's so small. And Charlie, the park owner over there, super nice guy, but they needed something like Pikes that's just, almost 900 acres, 150 miles of trails, just has a little bit of everything, slip and slide the pond, mud holes, hill climb races, drag races, barrel races. A little bit of everything, obstacle course races, knockout races, all these things. So they wanted a bigger venue. So that is coming to basically Pikes Off-Road Park for May and for August. So we're expecting some massive crowds. I'm going to have some amazing artists. Right now, to go get in and race all those events, you don't have to pay anything to race in our events. It's $90 if you want to pay at the gate when you get to the park to see all of those artists and see all the racing and all that from Thursday through Monday. $90. You're never going to see it. And I love Bricks. I plan on going to Bricks this year, but Bricks has raised their price. It's about $150 for Bricks for Thursday through Sunday now. And that's not counting shower passes and all those types of things too. And, everyone's raised their prices so much. Pikes raised theirs $10 this year for their non-concert weekend. So, we used to be $40 for Saturday and Sunday, and then $60 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now it's, $50 for Saturday and Sunday, or $70 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, after 6 seasons at, Pikes, they finally raised it $10. But, you're never going to see that much action, that much entertainment for $90. And it's free camping, a $20 shower pass for hot showers for the entire weekend, or, 4 or 5 days you're there. Just stuff that you don't see anywhere.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. I appreciate you getting on here and talking with me, not her, tonight. Is there anything, any sponsors or anything that you would like to thank or anything like that?
Yes, I'd love to thank Hayes Motorsports, Smith Brothers Power Sports in Quincy, Illinois, and Hayden's there in Frankfort, Missouri by Pikes. They're our overall platinum sponsor for the Missouri Motor Battle Course Series Championship this year. I'd like to thank UTV Toys, Charlie Griffith, for being with us again this year. The Hillbilly Shack, Dynasty Man. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. Babe, give the other look at it. Sorry, there's 2 more. We've got a barbecue joint coming out of Oklahoma. It's going to be there. And I want to thank Up and Smoke and Fat Daddy's Barbecue. I want to thank them for coming to Pikes, and all of our amazing vendors. You know, we're going to have Far Off Road's going to be this first event, Far Off Road's out of Indiana. They do a lot of merchandise and, you know, cages and repairs and things like that. Diamond Key Wood Burning, Pam's going to be there. They donate half their proceeds back to military and different funds and things like that. They're great. UTV Toys will be there in the vendor spot. We'll be there in the vendor spot. So yeah, what we need to do is we need to get some more vendors and some more sponsors. And there's some of the other sponsors.
Yes, Little Foxy, we appreciate you doing your coloring books.
Yes.
Get out
and
of
I
here.
want to thank Little Foxy so much too. She donates all the proceeds from her coloring books. So if anybody's looking to get coloring books for their kids, please get on Little Foxy Racing and check those out. But she donates all of the profits back to the Missouri Motorist Kids Races, so we can give the kids even more money. And you know, I want to thank Wyatt Ainsworth. He's donating $250 back for the non-turbo drag race. Kenny Morris is donating $250 back for the non-turbo side-by-side drag races. So, you know, the non-turbo side-by-side drag races will pay out $1,000. And the list goes on and on and on. Obviously all my personal sponsors, you know, the Evolution Power Sports, I can't thank them enough. Side-by-Side Factory, Turner Cycles, Super ATV, Assault Industries, Doolittle Trailer, you know, just we couldn't do it without them. And yeah, we're very blessed and to be in such a great place, to have wonderful sponsors for our series and for our racing. And you know, thank you for having the podcast where we get to talk about them and to give them a little more exposure. And I love what Little Foxy's doing about you know, kind of really showcasing the youth and kind of giving them a voice and a face. And you know, interviewing kids is not an easy thing to do. Talking to kids is not an easy thing to do. So
talking period on this is not an easy thing to do.
What's that?
Talking period on this is not an easy thing to do.
Oh, you've been great.
I've been nervous. Luckily, she has some questions already set up for her mama on a teleprompter.
Yeah, I hate Little Foxy being sick. She does such a good job. I thought you were fantastic. And yeah, anything we can do to help or bring more, you know, views to you guys, please let us know, and we'll do it. And you know, you guys are our extended family, and we love you guys to death. And
at the end of the day, she's enjoying what she's doing, and if you get views, you get views. You know,
right.
Of course, if it gets there, it gets there at some point. But if it's not authentic, then
she's having fun and she's enjoying it. So what else could you ask?
As long as it keeps her active and strong, and you know, maybe inspires somebody else, that's all that matters. So.
Yeah, maybe one thing I wish people knew how much work that is. You know, social media, especially when, you know, the way you guys are doing it in the podcast. I mean, it's a lot of work. It is. And
it's a lot of work. I will say on social media that, I mean, it takes two people most of the time for her social medias. I mean, I help her. She does a lot on her own. Like, she gets up in the morning and she goes at it. That's why it's like sporadic a lot of times, because I think when she gets up before her work, that's like one of her challenges, to make sure before she goes to work and she does what she needs to. So, I mean, so she also does a full-time job. So, yeah. So, I mean, kudos to her. She does do it as much as she can. And I know that she really hated missing this tonight, but I do appreciate you sitting down and talking with us. I appreciate you answering some of those questions. I appreciate everybody being respectful that was on here today. And I hope that maybe some people got to see you for the Josh Carmon that a lot of people sees. I mean, you're feisty. Well, I'll give you that.
Well, you know, I'm a little bit, you know, I mean, you back me in a corner, but
you're feisty.
You know, I feel like I'm the type of people from Louisiana. I'll give you the shirt off my back, but if you wrong me, I'm going to beat you with that same shirt. So like a lot of other people will. But yeah, I think people that know me, they know this about me, and like I said, I just appreciate you being able to give us a platform to kind of talk about it. And yeah,
I think you have a very strong personality, so it's hard. Like if you're not used to people with strong personalities. I mean, the first time I ever went to a mud park and you were there, I was like, who is this guy? I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wow, he's got lots of energy. He's just like, and but then, I mean, over time, getting to know you. Now, I've seen the side of you, like when my husband had his heart attack, being there for him. I've seen the side of you where, you've given things to people, like the side that people don't see, the side that it's easy to disregard and just focus on the bad side. So I just always say, get to know people for who they are, and make your own opinions.
Yeah. I like that.
Love is louder.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Pressure to fit in. So I appreciate you being here tonight, and I'm going to see you soon, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to see you soon.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do dinner or something sometime soon. But yeah, you guys, I think, are going to Loop in a couple of weeks. I'm going to Kentucky.
We're going to the Loop. Mm-hmm.
I think James Davis is going to Arkansas. So
James is going to Arkansas. We're all kind of bridging those parts and checking it out, and
it's kind of odd because we're normally always together. This is kind of one of these weird times that we don't have very often, because normally when we kind of one person goes, but it's beginning of the season, first kind of race, and everybody kind of make their own plans and stuff. But I know one thing, that it's always more fun when you guys are around. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're planning on going. I know we're planning on going to Arkansas. I don't know if we're going the same time when you go in May. I don't know even what's in May.
I'm going to try. I think that event is the week before Pikes. It's 1 or 2 weeks before Pikes. If it's 2 weeks, no problem. If it's the week before, it's just hard that weekend before, because I'm normally at Pikes the weekend before, getting kind of stuff dialed in or trying to help.
Yep. And right now we're just looking forward to our next, I think April, Andrea, Keith, myself, Ben, Little Foxy, and Nick and Maggie are venturing to the Loop for St. Patty's. And then I think you're going to Kentucky, and then James and Danielle's to Arkansas. So hopefully everybody is safe, most of all. Well, I'll say we're going to the Loop. It depends on my husband if we get to go to the Loop. If things change with that, then we might not. But hopefully everything goes good. So, but I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys being there for us, and all that you do. So take care, and just appreciate you very much.
Same here. All right. Good night. Right. You guys have a great night. Thanks, Dana.
You too.
Thanks, Foxy.
Now, I wanted to do this because she asked me to, and I know that I'm a little bit over time, and she's going to get mad at me for being over time. So I did want to hit this. She wanted me to send out a heartfelt thank you to the Little Foxy Racing supporters that have shown up and come through for this year. Let me get this banner out of here for you so that I can hide that so that you can see everybody. So Trail Addiction Official, I'm so sorry. Fusion and Off-Road have been amazing support systems for her, and helping her with the podcast and learning things in that. And Cody with Trail Addiction Official has been beyond amazing, and such a great friend for her and mentor. So Trail Addiction Official, we thank you for everything that you've helped us to do. We have Just Face It, Stephanie Click. This is going to be her second year with Little Foxy Racing. Same with 618 DTF, Haven Ready Mix, Murray Power Sports, of course, the amazing April Rose with Rose Racing, High Heel Cheetah, Missouri Mutters. They have been with Kiera since the get-go, and continue to be amazing supporters of Little Foxy Racing. New this year is MRT. Super stoked about that. Great people. Couldn't ask for better people. All Balls Racing, again, extraordinary. Jim Trinary, Jason Evers come through with helping her, he was wanting to help her, and he did so, and really went out of his way to assist her with some things and some racing needs that she needed. And I just think that's great. Combat Clean, which is a veteran-owned business, amazing cleaning products. We've been using them, and we're very impressed with them. They've been great. Courtney Reed Photography. She was a high school friend of Kiara's who really wanted to do pictures in that and has been doing some photography work with her. So we thank her. Where to Mud Racing is new this year, that is on with us. Race Chick, it was very important that we get Kiara into a fire suit. Mike Pack, if anybody knows him, we talked to him a while ago. He really instilled the different safety in that for Kiara, and they're just an amazing family. And he's been a great mentor, and we really hang on the words that he said. So getting her in that race suit this year, we're still working on that Hans device to get her in that. Very huge shout out to UTV Toys. He has been Kiara's #1 sponsor from the beginning. This man is incredible. He is part of our family. We love Charlie to death. He is a good person, a great guy. And I would say that you should definitely get anything from him because he is very trustworthy and his character and integrity goes beyond anything. Martian Whips, incredible people. Loved getting to meet them in Arkansas. They went above and beyond, and we are just really happy to be able to support them and put them out there. And they have definitely lit up her buggy. She has on here mom and dad, which that would be me and her dad. But I think that her dad probably gets the most kudos because that man works nonstop on her machines, and just getting to see those two spend the time that they spend together. Whoop, gonna cry. Knowing that both of their healths are not good, but getting to see them make those memories and have those moments mean everything to me as a mom. So I would give the shout out to him most of all. Her grandparents, all of her grandparents, the Klein family, amazing people, have been amazing friends of ours. Bands around town, all of the Messick's family, every aunt, uncle, and cousin. Kiara is so proud of her family and the fact that she gets to spend that time with them and her little cousins. They have been huge supporters. They help every way that they can. Bonnie and Clyde Racing, out of Arkansas, they're amazing. They sponsor each other to help build each other. And Blake and Alicia are just really amazing people. Shocker Motorsports, Kenny Morris, what more can I say? This man, he's funny. He's the life of the party. But one thing I can say for sure is he has always had Little Foxy Racing's back, and he has been very incredible to all of us. And we just love Kenny and love the support that he not only shows to Little Foxy Racing, but to Pikes, to Missouri Mudders, to just off-roading in general. He's just an amazing, incredible person, and so are all those with him. Jet Full Throttle. He's younger than Kiara, but Kiara definitely looks up to him, and he's supposed to be getting her at Hill Killing here soon, so we'll see about that. Chris and Kathy Gracener, amazing people. They have been beside Little Foxy Racing, and Chris has just really been a huge mentor to her as well. And they have always been so supportive, and we love them like family as well, and are thankful that they're supporters. Mud Monster, Kiara has met her through social media, and they have just really built a bond and a friendship, and they're both female racers, and they've been encouraging one another. And I think that that's an amazing thing. Dogs Unlimited, that is Jamie and Emily Hayes. Incredible people, part of our family as well. Jamie, though, sometimes I just want to put earplugs on when he's around my daughter because he always encourages her to put on a show. And if she's not winning, he says she needs to be rolling, and I disagree with him. Cam Settlemore Racing, a young man that Kiara met a while ago, and they've just become inseparable, and she supports him and he supports her. Love that. PB Off-Road, Eric and Stephanie Ogle. Eric is Kiara's biological father, and Stephanie is her stepmom. They have come on board to support her this year, so thank you for that. Bruno and Tink, Travis Love, Brad and Kate Landtrip. I know she's not Landtrip yet, but it's close enough, so we're going to put the Landtrip on there. Jason and Jessica Ivy, great friends of ours. Jessica's been like a second mom to Kiara. She's been one of my best friends for many years. I am incredibly humbled by the fact that Hardin with the Loop too has supported Little Foxy Racing. It's really a great thing, and we really appreciate that you came through and are sponsoring her. That says a lot about who you are and about your support for the off-road community. So I just really thank you, Hardin, and Missy at the Loop too. Cool Lemons, Lumens, I don't really know how to say it. It's a really cool lighted cooler thing. We met them at OPE, and he is sponsoring Kiara. Little Tiny Tots Learning Center. As you all know, Kiara is big into the coloring books and kids. She absolutely loves kids. That's where her heart is, and it always will be. And then Diamond Key Woodbirding and Photography. So just want to give a huge shout out to all of them and thank you. She still has the Purple Out board. It is found on her social media page. If anybody wants to be part of that, you can. Your names will be listed on the back of her shirts that she will be getting for events and stuff. And it will list, just like how it showed, you as a Little Foxy Racing supporter. And again, she'll have her coloring books as well. So everybody, if you can say a prayer for her, I would greatly appreciate it. She is not doing good and sick, and this has been a heck of a week for us. As you know, the news with my husband. So just kind of keep our family in your prayers. It's been a rough week, but I appreciate you guys. Love you all. As I say, and my family will always say, spread kindness. And if you ever see us, don't ever hesitate to come up and say hey. And if you need anything, we're always there. I also wanted to thank Carson Hill, a little boy that Kiara had on the podcast. This is the 3D necklace. I think it's amazing. It came in the mail for her, and we love it. So we appreciate everybody, and we appreciate your time tonight. God bless.